everyone, and welcome to Chapter 7, which is an unexpected twist in the tale. The room fell silent, with quite a bit of wiggling and jiggling. Clara untangled herself completely from under the fallen Christmas tree and staggered out to find Fritz and Walter, who she was worried might have been hurt by the huge falling tree. She quickly retrieved her slippers, but as she slipped them on, the back of her neck suddenly prickled. She felt like someone was watching her, but when she looked around, there was no one there, only Walter, who was busy picking himself up and dusting himself off. The strange feeling disappeared, and Clara shook it off. It had been an unusual night, and she was feeling a bit dizzy from everything that had happened. Alarmingly, there was no sign of Fritz, but she saw Walter and hurried over to see if he was all right. He was. He wasn't hurt, just a bit crumpled. He was, however, in a terrific panic. "Oh no, oh no, oh no," he cried, pacing back and forth. "The key, it's gone. He's taken it. This is a disaster, a disaster." It was obviously not good that the Mouse King had stolen the golden key, but Clara didn't know why. "I think you need to tell me about it," she said gently. "What was the key for? Your house?" Walter stopped pacing and sighed a heavy sigh. "No, it's not for that," said Walter. "My friend is a sugar plum fairy, and he is in charge of the kingdom of sweets. Christmas is a very important time of the year for the sugar plum fairy because all of the sweets he has to make. There are all the candy canes for Christmas stockings, of course, but he also makes some very important sweets." "I think all sweets are very important," said Clara. She looked around for Fritz again. She knew he'd agree with her, but where was he? The parlour was a mess, and she couldn't see him anywhere. She felt a nervous twist in her tummy. "Of course they are," agreed Walter, "but these sweets are extra special. They're magic sweets, made especially for Father Christmas to feed to his reindeer. Rocket drops, they're called. They're what make the reindeer able to fly so quickly. He can't deliver all the presents in one night without them." Clara frowned. This was all terribly interesting, but she was rather confused. "What's this got to do with the Mouse King?" she asked. Walter started to panic again, and his cheeks turned pink. "Everything," he exclaimed. "You see, the great Gorgonzola, that's the Mouse King, is a sneaky, stinky so-and-so. He's always up to shenanigans of some kind or other, but this year he seems to be much worse than ever before. We don't know what his plan is, but for weeks he's been stealing all sorts of things. Cookies from the cookie town, gingerbread from the gingerbread village, and we just know he's after the sweets. And if he gets his paws on the rocket drops, Father Christmas won't be able to deliver any of his presents." Clara gasped and wondered if the Mouse King's shenanigans were the reason why she and Fritz hadn't seen any nice treats around for ages. Walter took a deep breath and continued. "So to protect the special Christmas sweets until Father Christmas could collect them, the Sugar Plum Fairy has to put her spell over the whole kingdom. It can only be broken by that magic golden key." He stopped and mouthed nervously at the hem of his jacket. "And I had to look after the key," he said, looking even more crumpled, "and keep it safe. I took it to her Drosseline's toy shop because I thought no one would find me there amongst the toys. I just like the look the other wooden dolls, you know? But then her Drosseline brought me here. I was worried at first, but when I saw you and your brother at the party, I thought, well, there are two nice friendly people who can help me. And then," he sighed again, "I had one job to do, and I failed," he said sadly. "Now the Mouse King has the key and Christmas will be ruined." Clara had been listening to all of this, and her eyes had been growing wider and wider. There she'd been earlier that evening, wondering if real magic existed, and now she found herself as tiny as a Christmas tree candle, listening to a talking doll telling her about magic sweets and magic spells. The news that Christmas might be ruined was also very worrying indeed, but Clara felt that sitting around in the parlour talking wasn't going to solve anything. She pushed her specs up her nose and looked very determined. "Well, we'll just have to go and get the key back," she said. "Won't we, Fritz?" "Fritz?" Clara looked around and realised her brother was still nowhere to be seen. Her tummy twisted again, but this time into a sudden worried knot. Surely the Mouse King hadn't taken Fritz as well. "Fritz!" she shouted. "Fritz, where are you?" To her relief, a little voice came from inside the fallen Christmas tree. "Here," said Fritz. "Hang on, I'm on my way." Several branches rustled, and then Fritz's face appeared, grinning. He clambered out and scurried over to his sister and Walter. His face was flushed and he was very excited. "Did you see what those naughty mice did?" he cried. They flung some mouldy cheese at us, smelled of sweaty old socks, and it knocked me clean off that present. And some of the cheese went in my mouth. Disgusting. I don't like cheese anyway, but that stuff was really revolting. He paused and looked from Clara to Walter and back again. He realised they were staring at him like he was an alien. What? He said, confused. Is there something wrong? Have I got something on my face? It's not your face, said Walter. Huh? Said Fritz, nose wrinkling. It's your bum, said Clara. Look, you've grown a tail. Fritz spun around, looking over his shoulder. He gasped. Clara was right. Poking out of his pyjama trousers was a long, wiggly tail, and it was unmistakably a mouse tail.